There's a couple players that the Pittsburgh Steelers acquired this offseason that I think are going to play big roles inside of that defensive secondary and really mean big things in 2024. And also, what a positive sign it is to see a young second year player in Broderick Jones really becoming and forming into a true leader in that offensive line room. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's dive in here on a Tuesday. I appreciate you all for stopping through. Let's first start off with Broderick Jones and what I think he is going to really truly mean to this franchise and mean to this position room, the offensive line group as a whole. I think it's going to be big things, and what a positive sign it is when you have so many young players that you really just brought in this season here in 2024 via the draft. Zach Frazier, a Troy Fautanu, a Mason McCormick, etc., etc. Those guys that you brought in, these young core group guys that really need a leader, a guy that is going to really need to step up. Yes, you have some veterans in James Daniels and Isaac Seumalo, but you want to see this young core really develop into that leadership role. You want to see them really develop and come together as a real cohesive group, because that is your foundation, guys. And you know how I feel about the trenches. You know that I feel that without the trenches, you do nothing. You have to have the base, that the defensive and offensive trenches have to be really secure spots for your football team in order to be successful, in my opinion. If you're looking to build a long-term success story in the NFL, and that is getting a young core group of guys together, especially on the offensive line with what we're talking about now. Broderick Jones diving into that leadership role, that role to where he is going to step up and be that guy here in just year two, and that's very encouraging. You see how he's out there wanting to help these younger guys, and Troy Fautanu and Zach Frazier really try to develop Mason McCormick, get them really comfortable in their NFL careers, to kickstart their NFL careers. So, yes, what a real positive sign that I really truly believe you're seeing coming out of OTAs. That is what I think should be one of the bigger stories, because it's so hard to really evaluate any of these guys in helmets and shorts. But you can see some of the real intangibles that mean some big things, in my opinion, and that is Broderick Jones. Developing into a leader. I think that only spells big things. So that is so encouraging, and I think it should be one of the major stories that is taken out of this OTA period, this 2-week period of the Pittsburgh Steelers coming together as a unit, some voluntary organized team activities. So thankfully, you're getting to see that, and that has to be really encouraging for the Steelers as a franchise, considering you spent some significant draft capital on Broderick Jones, moving up to get him at 14 in the 2023 draft, and then going out on a whim and taking a Troy Fautanu at 20, a guy that should have been picked way before, but you got lucky and he fell to you. Then you see a guy like Zach Frazier coming to the building that I think you got ultra lucky at also, because I think he's the best center in this draft class. Then you see a guy like Mason McCormick that has tremendous upside that you were able to get later in the draft out of South Dakota State. So many big things happening for that offensive line, and I want you guys to continue to watch that and make that one of your focal points here as you move through the offseason and the offseason programs. I think it's just something really cool to see, and really a real true positive sign for your Pittsburgh Steelers and for Steelers Nation as a whole. I think you should be really excited about that and how that is all transpiring for your Steelers. Let's dive into another thing that I think has played a big role here in the offseason that I think will really help the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024 in a big way. You look at this defense as a whole and you say to yourself, I think they've improved in several locations. You're still kind of leery a little bit about the defensive front, those linemen, those guys in the trenches. You're a little bit leery probably, and at least I am, in that area, and depth and age and maybe people being out of position. So many little variables that probably need to sort themselves out here over the offseason programs. But I wanted to talk about a guy that they got, well, two guys that they got that I think are really going to be significant key players and play a big role in 2024. And you look at a Deshaun Elliott at the safety position. You look at a Dante Jackson acquired from the Carolina Panthers for the Deontay Johnson trade from Carolina. So those two players in particular, in my opinion, veteran players, guys that I think are going to be able to play significant roles for the Steelers. They have experience, they are veterans, and they're good ball players. So I think having just those veteran guys in there, mixing with Minka, mixing with those types of dudes, mixing with a second-year Joey Porter Jr. at the cornerback position, I think this secondary as a whole is really going to benefit from those key acquisitions. And they may not have seemed like monster moves at the time to where everybody was jumping for joy. They were super significant at the time. At least you didn't think so, or at least many didn't think so. There probably were some out there that realized exactly how significant that those moves were. But really, after dissecting it, watching these guys go through OTAs, their energy, their knowledge of the game, things of that nature, their willingness to assist others, I think that you're going to see big contributions from a Dante Jackson, from a Deshaun Elliott. And I think that that's another thing that Pittsburgh Steelers fans should really get excited about. Another real story that's coming out of OTAs, in my opinion. Again, guys, it's really hard to dissect football teams when they're just having shorts on and a helmet on. It's really hard to tell what anybody's going to be able to do once live action hits. It's ultra hard, but again, you can see some things, footwork, knowledge, the way they handle themselves around their teammates, those things. So I think there's a couple major stories coming out of OTAs right now. I think there will be more major stories to develop. Yes, the wide receiver room's a major area of concern, the quarterback position, but I think those are going to be some things that we see a little bit later down the road start to sort themselves out in a different way. But right now, I really think those two major stories, Broderick Jones becoming a real leader, and Deshaun Elliott and Dante Jackson, and what they are going to be able to bring. I think those two stories are really significant, guys, and really have some true meaning for your Steelers moving into 2024, especially as we continue through these organized team activities that I think are about to wrap up. Yeah, you get 2 weeks or so of that. The Steelers went to Kennywood yesterday. It looked like they had a good time, all that good stuff. But those two real stories that I've been thinking of, those are my two major takeaways from the OTA period, and that is, a positive sign. A real positive sign, in my opinion. And I'm really excited to be able to see what a Deshaun Elliott can do with a guy like a Minka Fitzpatrick. I'm really excited to see what a Dante Jackson can do beside a second-year superstar, budding superstar in Joey Porter Jr., a guy whom we all have really high hopes for and assume that he is the true number one franchise corner for years to come. Another part of his family legacy in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization and franchise. So two really big things, man, that I took out of OTAs and that I'm really excited about. And the Deshaun Elliott and Dante Jackson thing also, shows some leadership stuff. You see a guy like Dante Jackson, he's probably one of the youngest guys or older guys in that whole room, and he's not super old. You have Anthony Averett, yes, but you look at that room and you say to yourself, oh shit, he's pretty much the leader, man. And that's a cool thing too, because you have a lot of young talent, and you're mixing that veteran guy in there that can help guide these guys into a positive NFL career. So those, again, guys, were my two big takeaways so far from the offseason programs. But I got to say, the biggest thing that I've noticed is accountability. I feel like this building has way more accountability. And I feel like that, yes, they are really emphasizing the physicality. I know that that's one big thing people want to talk about, but you really can't tell about that physicality again until you have football helmets and shoulder pads and knee pads and the whole 9 yards. You can't tell what people are doing until that live action really starts to go here in terms of physicality and things like that. but you can see the accountability. You can see the way that this team really handles themselves, really coming together as a group. They seem to enjoy each other, but the accountability is something that's tops on my list because I feel like they all realize that they are accountable for their individual job. Just do your job type thing. I really think they feel accountable for their teammates. So it's a really cool environment to really see start to take shape. Again, guys, it's a little bit different when you're inside the locker room. You see some little intricacies and things of that nature that may sway the opinion that I have. But from an outsider's point of view and the way I'm looking at this football team, I could really be excited for those things. So, again, guys, OTAs wrapping up, things of that nature. Now we're moving toward more of this off season and more of the more intense off season periods. We're rapidly cruising towards Latrobe, Pennsylvania, where training camp will take place. So a lot of exciting things happening for your Steelers, and things will just continue to heat up. So don't forget tonight we will have our live show at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll kind of make it like a freestyle Tuesday. We'll kind of use your questions mostly. I won't come with several topics to talk about. We'll just come and freestyle it up. So make sure you enjoy or join us for our daily live stream called Steel City Live. I host the show, and tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will kick that show off. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to all the stuff that we do here. Don't forget to go over on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Start to like and follow our stuff there too as we try to build a presence on those platforms as well. We'll start posting some content there, but I do post updates on, uploads and things like that we do here for YouTube. So, yeah, big things happening. So until tonight, guys, at 6:30, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.